Someone messaged me and asked if I could talk about mean teachers, and well, of course I can. Anyone can talk about mean teachers, but not everyone will really go into detail when they do so. Very rarely when someone talks about mean teachers do they ever actually go into why a teacher is mean. It's usually just, I don't agree with this particular person, so I think they're mean, or I don't like the way this person handles this subject. A lot of times when someone says a teacher's mean, they're really just venting about how poorly they're doing in a subject, and they're not really talking about how mean a teacher actually is. Although, yes, there are mean teachers, despite what some people on Tumblr might tell you, there are mean teachers out there, and there are bullies in every walk of life, and that includes the education system. It's sad, but it's true. Some people get up each morning, and their first thought is, I'm going to go ruin someone's day, I'm going to tear someone down, and I'm going to walk all over them. And it sucks. It sucks that there are people like this out there, and it sucks that there are people like this in the education system, but there are. Now, some teachers are irritable and snappy, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're mean teachers. You gotta understand that teaching is a high-stress, low-paid job, and some of these people just have bad days occasionally. It doesn't make them mean, but some teachers are mean, and some teachers are bullies, and these people, for whatever reason, are allowed to educate children. And it sucks. It really sucks, and it pisses me off, because how do you deal with a bully that's in a position of power? What do you do if your teacher's verbally abusing you? It's not like a regular bully where you can stand up to them and shout in their face and tell them where to stick it. Well, you can do that, but if you do it, you'll end up in the principal's office, or you'll end up with a detention, and it's not a good idea. Just standing up to a teacher outright is usually a bad idea. So how do you handle it? Well, there are a couple ways to handle the situation. If they are saying things that are hurtful, clearly hurtful, and they're awful, and they say them all the time, bring a camera or an audio recording device to school, put it in your bag, and point it toward your teacher. Record the whole lesson, and if they say something bad, keep it, save it, make copies, and keep recording. If you can catch them on more than one occasion saying these things, take these recordings, keep a copy for yourself, but give one copy to your parents and another copy to your counselors. And if you have any friends in the class that are also being verbally abused, you can have their testimonies as well, and it'll mean a lot more. Why you should keep a copy, though, is some schools are desperate enough for money from the board that they will try to sweep the whole situation under the rug. So you need to make sure that you have a copy in case they do. Never, ever give up the original copy of any piece of evidence in anything unless you absolutely have to. Okay? Just don't trust everyone you go to be as honest as you expect them to be. What do you do if your teacher is verbally abusing you, but they're not doing it in such a way that it's cruel enough or often enough that you think that mentioning it to your counselor or your parents will amount to anything? A lot of times there isn't a specific action that you can take. Now, if you think the teacher isn't really a bully and that they're just under a lot of stress, you can try being nice to them. You can try talking to them as people, maybe asking them about their day. And if that doesn't work, then maybe they are just bullies, and maybe they are trying to tear you down, and that happens sometimes. And, well, the best thing you can really do in this situation is to just try your best to succeed. Do the best you can every way you can. And then if you succeed, if you graduate, then you can look back at them and you can laugh at them and just be glad that you were the better person, that you took this horrible situation and you turned it around and you succeeded. What if your teacher's trying to fail you? Some teachers, for whatever reason, actually try to fail their students, and it's horrible. Now, here's how you handle that situation. First, you take very detailed notes. You take notes every day. You record every single thing the teacher tells you. You keep copies of the curriculum, and you compile it. You compile every bit of information you can. And then if they give you a test or they give you homework that contains questions that are just outside of what you've been taught, then you actually have proof as to whether or not they were doing so. You can take your notes and you can show them to your counselors and you can say, hey, this teacher is not giving us the information that we need to succeed. If you take your notes and you show them to them and they're very well written, and you also have a group of friends or other classmates, they don't necessarily have to be friends, just other people that are struggling in the same class for the same reasons, you can have them also come with you, go to the counselor's office, and just say, hey, we are trying our hardest to succeed, and we want to graduate, and we want to do the best we can, but we can't, because this teacher is not letting us, and we are being treated unfairly, because it is unfair. It is unfair for this teacher or group of teachers, if you have more than one teacher that's doing this. It's unfair for them to do this to you. It's unfair for them to give you questions that you cannot answer. And it's not okay. It's not okay for that to ever happen. So just make sure, if this starts happening, that you catch it early on, you keep very good notes, and you talk to friends, you have them keep very good notes as well, and you go together, you go talk to your counselors. And if nothing comes of it, you can go to your parents and you can say, hey, I went with a group of classmates, and I went to the counselor, and nothing came of it. And then your parents get involved as well, and that means a lot. It means a lot more to school boards, it means a lot more to principals, and everyone else, if your parents are like, whoa, what the crap are you doing to my kids? Because these parents, they sign their checks. I'm just saying. Your parents are more or less paying for your teachers to have jobs. What if your teacher is threatening or harming you or your classmates? If you are in danger of physical harm, you have the right to defend yourself. You are a human being, and every human being has the right to defend themselves. I'm not saying you should go out and punch a teacher you don't like, but if they are threatening your well-being, you have the right to strike them back. You should always try to run. If you feel like you're in danger, you try to run and you tell somebody about it. And if they actually hurt you, if they actually threaten you, you go to the police. Okay, you don't go to the counselors, you don't go to your principals, you go to the police. You talk to your parents, and then you call the cops. Because that is bad. That is a very bad situation, and like I said earlier, some schools will try to brush situations like this under the rug. So if they threaten you, if they hurt you, you go to the police. I'd like to end the video by saying that if somebody tries to tear you down, be it a bully or a teacher, I want you to remember that for somebody to tear you down, you have to be something, because you can't tear down nothing, right? So you are something. You are something unique and wonderful. And if somebody tries to tear you down, I want you to remember that. Like, you are something. And they know you are something, even if they pretend they don't. They know you are something because they're trying to tear you down. So I want you to remember that, and I hope you have a nice day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Good night.